What's up, beautiful people? My name is Morgan Downey, and welcome back to the Get More Fit YouTube channel. I have not made a YouTube video in months. Since I had my daughter in September, I've literally not made a video. It's February. It's okay though. We're here, we are ready, and I'm hopping right into this topic because it's something I've been thinking about for a minute, and I want to share a little story about it. I've come to the realization that one of the biggest things that affect women is fear following toxic relationship cycles. And I've noticed this definitely happened for me, but it is something that holds so many women back from getting out of the cycle of toxic relationships. You have fear of settling, fear of, missing out on who you think the guy could be. You have fear of what people will say about you if you stop talking to the guy, what people will say about you if you keep talking to the guy. There's fear of, I put so much time in this person, and if I leave them, I don't want them to find somebody else, and then they get the good part, the good, side of the guy that I didn't even get to experience after I done suffered all this time. Like, there's just so many fears that can come up, and because we are operating from such a deep-rooted state of fear, we can't even make sound decisions rooted in faith, decisions that are focused on us and becoming the best version of ourselves and really showing up in a way that we're proud of, and we like that version of ourselves. Like, we can't even do that because we are so bogged down by fear. Quick story time about how this showed up in my life. So back in summer 2019, I had just graduated from Spelman, and my mom had passed away April. I graduated in May, and I was, going through it, to say the least. But I had just decided that I was going to start personal training people because I had been working out for a long time, and people began to inquire on my little fitness page at the time. It was still a Get More Fit page. But anyway, they started to inquire about training. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'll give it a shot or whatever. So I was maybe like a couple weeks into it, and I remember having 2 fitness training sessions scheduled for that week, right? And at the time, I wasn't in a relationship or anything, but one of my exes had called me and invited me to spend a few days in Vegas because he was playing basketball and they had a tournament out there, something like that. And okay, look, I'm like 22 years old. The idea of like a guy flying you out to Vegas for the summer, it's summertime. I'm like, whatever, it could be fun, whatever. And I had the fear of missing out, in all honesty. This guy was, he had just got drafted, and I'm thinking, okay, this could be fun. Like, you could stay here and do these 2 training sessions, or you could go to Vegas. And I really contemplated for a while on what I was going to do. And of course, I ended up going. And when you have that, like, I can't lay claim to the Holy Spirit at the time because I was not saved. But yeah, I just felt like it was just God just trying to tap on my shoulder, like, girl, do not go. Do not go. And I knew that I should have stayed, but I went anyway. And it wasn't just all bad, but by the time I got there, and I was there for a few days, but we ended up getting into like a huge argument. And not only was the argument like so big to the point where I'm like crying and I'm like leaving the hotel, I didn't go too far because I didn't have anywhere to go, but like I'm literally walking down the street and I'm like, you know what? This is exactly why I shouldn't have come. And in addition to just that big argument, I was just not at peace fully. Like I said, we were not in a relationship at the time. We had talked for years, before that, but I knew that rightfully so, he, probably had women texting his phone, and I couldn't be mad at that. Like, we weren't together. But I put myself in that situation, and I was so mad at myself because I let something, a goal of mine, which was, beginning to really like start personal training and like be consistent with it and follow through with my word. I let that slip through my fingers in that situation because I had the fear of, what if I miss out? What if I'm missing out on a good time? I will say one of the really unfortunate parts about this story is I had this idea of what we could be, of what that trip was going to be, what it was going to mean to like be out there on some basketball wifey type stuff. And the idea we have in our mind of what something will be with our ex or toxic relationship partner or whatever, like, is never as good in reality as it is up here. But we have that fear of missing out of what could be, of that image that's in our mind, and we get tricked every time. And it's like, this is not what I wanted it to be. This is not what I expected, but it's like you did expect it, but it's like you don't want it, but you're still hoping for the best. That's taught me a big lesson. I learned a big lesson from that, and it was not to allow any type of fear or this relationship that I needed to release to stop me from putting my time and effort into a goal that I really wanted to like work on. I really wanted to do. But how often as women do we set aside what we want for the hope of what potentially could be after you've seen time and time again it's not going to be that? And yet we just, please, I hope it's going to be that. And it's like, bro, it's not going to be that. I'm sorry. So to my single ladies, I ask you, if you have been in this situation, you might be in this situation right now, but I'm asking you to identify, are you operating from a place of fear or faith? And if you are operating from a place of fear, identify your fears. What are you afraid of in this situation? What are you afraid of relationally in general? Are you using your singleness effectively so that you can heal and that you can grow and change your mindset from a place of fear and move it to a place of faith? Are you using it as an opportunity to commit to yourself, to commit to trusting God and trusting yourself and following through with your word? Because we all know, we done said a million times, oh, I'm not going back. That's it. I'm done. And then went right back. And that literally diminishes your confidence little bit by little bit. And building that back up takes time. It takes intentionality. It takes true investment into pouring into your cup. So if this is something that you aspire to do, you want to invest in yourself, you want to become all that God has for you or all that God has created you to be. If this is you, click the link below in the description box. I'll have a link to a freebie, the 5 biggest mistakes ambitious Black women make while waiting for love. It is a training and it comes with a PDF to give you some questions to reflect over. Listen, I don't care what color you are, to be honest, but you can watch the training. Because those questions that I'm going to ask in response to the video are really going to help you begin to open up and invest in yourself so that you can really pour out onto yourself, pour that love onto yourself that you need to recharge, refuel, and reground yourself so that you can step into that version of yourself that God has created you to be. So I can't believe I got this video done before my daughter woke up. I'm so happy, but I'll see y'all next time. Okay, bye. I need a cover photo.